1 or 2 weeks ago, depending on when this video goes up, Keemstar uploaded a video on his daily podcast, Drama Alert. The video was titled, CallMeCarson, Serious Allegations. In this video, Keemstar interviews two former members of the Lunch Club, Noah Hugbox and Travs or however you pronounce it. It's Travis, you dummy. They talk for about 7 minutes on the topic of CallMeCarson, exchanging nudes with 17-year-old girls at the age of 19.
Guys, what happened? How did this all come about?
Well, I'm gonna stick to the facts here, which was that one day in March, he called me shortly before he told Travis. Everybody was up in LA and he told most of them face to face, but he called me and I picked up the phone and he was basically like, I have to tell you something. And then he told me that he did underage girls, and I think that he said that they were fans. And that was what I was told.
Normally, this wouldn't be too big of an issue, even though, yes, technically at 17, you are considered a minor. The difference between 17 and 19 is only 2 years, which leaves a bit of a gray area for people to mess around with. The key thing that takes this issue out of the gray area is the fact that the girls he was sexting with were his fans. Yeah, now this is a serious issue. Keemstar's video on the topic felt rushed, and I can't blame him. Being a news outlet, you have to be first to every story, but the way that he executed the story just didn't seem right to me. The two former members of the Lunch Club, Noah and Travs, sounded like they still weren't comfortable with calling Carson out.
I just didn't want to involve myself in really anything that would be tied to this. I knew that someday it was going to come out, and I don't know, I feel like I dropped a few hints about it just so that people, when it did come out, would know that I wished that I could have talked about it, and I didn't want my life to be ruined by a lawsuit.
And when Keemstar said that he was going to
Reach out to Carson for a statement.
that just consisted of him tweeting to Carson whether or not he would make a statement. The fact that Keemstar thought he was going to respond was kinda stupid, not gonna lie. That's the main reason I wanted to make this video, to make sense of this entire fiasco and a way to vent my opinions on this situation as well. I'm gonna split this video up into 3 sections. The first one being my opinions on CallMeCarson before this entire scandal. The second section being a more informed look at what happened in this scandal, because all these videos have popped up recently and they honestly look a little bit rushed and not really well thought out. And the final section will be my thoughts on this entire controversy. Without further ado, let's get into the CallMeCarson scandal.
I have talked to many people at the time. Never came out since that time. I'm still 17 in high school. Okay. These conversations happened in January, February, March, April of 2019. How old was Carson? Was 19. Was he 19? It wasn't even his birthday. It wasn't even 20. 19-year-old grooming a 17-year-old? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
For those of you who went through this entire intro confused because you didn't know who CallMeCarson is, let me give you a rundown. CallMeCarson is a fairly big Twitch streamer who streams games like Minecraft and the now dead game Fall Guys to his 1.3 million followers. He is mostly known for his dry humor.
Oh, it's your cat. Wait, which one's that one?
That's the one I eat it.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
That's Milo, yeah.
Oh, he's cute.
Why'd you throw the cat?
Are you seriously asking me that right now?
Carson. Come on, you're trying to be friends. You're pushing
oh
the.
my god.
Like,
Dude.
how much airtime did it get?
Because he does that. Did you just see what he
Oh
did? Did you literally just see what he
And this clip of him crying on stream.
No, just go that way. Just go that way. Oh. Carson? Are you okay?
No!
His type of comedy is very hit or miss. Either you find his jokes funny, or they just make you uncomfortable, like they did for me. CallMeCarson was the type of content creator that I knew about, but never took the time to actually check out, seeing as live streams aren't my kind of thing. He spiked my attention a little when an animation commentary YouTuber that I like and would recommend to you, Andre Terba, posted a video on the Carson Caterino scandal that happened a couple months back. For those of you who don't know what happened, this is a very brief rundown. Carson was involved with a girl named Caterino, or Kate for short. Not romantically, but he was involving her in a lot of his live streams, and during them there was a lot of behavior that suggested that something more was happening behind the scenes.
We should play more games together sometime.
I'm so down.
Like maybe like a date or something.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
Alright.
See you around. Guy.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Um,
We'll do a cooking stream sometime, okay?
Wait, call me after your stream, okay?
Okay.
Then Carson announced on Twitter that he was taking an indefinite break for personal reasons. But the internet, being the internet, soon found out that Kate was cheating on Carson with his friend Fitz, which enraged Carson's followers. That event introduced me to Carson, but when I went to watch one of his videos, I just got bored. His kind of content wasn't for me. The Lunch Club, though, some of their content was enjoyable to watch. Again, though, this was another group that I didn't follow too closely. I just knew who they were and what they did. This group consisted of Ted Nivison, CallMeCarson, of course, Slimesicle, who I personally enjoy, Travs, Hugbox, JSlat, and CS Coop. I say consisted, past tense, because the Lunch Club is now over. It's been over for a couple months now, and people were confused as to why. Well, now we know.
No, I haven't read all the Carson shit, but when I read 2 tweets last night after being bugged about it for like 3 hours, all I said was 19 and 17 is not pedophilia, and then all of a sudden on Twitter today I'm getting accused of defending child and grooming, so it's kind of a landmine that I don't want to jump on again. But I will say it again for the people in the back, 19 and 17-year-olds dating is not pedophilia. That's not defending anything else, that's just me saying it's just not pedophilia.
In March of 2020, Carson told some of his close friends in person and some of his close friends over Discord or on the phone that he had been exchanging nudes with underage fans. His friends were, of course, shocked by what they had just heard, but they were also on a catch-22. The right thing to do was to go to the police with this information and let them handle the situation. But Carson also has a history of depression, and going to the police or going public with this information could be dangerous to his mental health. The Lunch Club ended that day with the members splitting off into 2 groups. The ones that left straight away and the ones that left later. Slimesicle was one of the people who left straight away. In a statement that he made on Twitter, Slimesicle stated that as soon as he got the information, he contacted the police and cut all ties with Carson. But a few of his other friends, for example, JSlat, said this.
Around late February, early March, Carson told the Lunch Club guys, as well as a bunch of close friends of his at the time, that he had been sexting his fans. He explained that he had exchanged photos with the 17-year-old while he was 19, and that he was done with it. He hadn't done it in months. He was ashamed of what he had done, and all that stuff. Early 2020 was when Carson was at the lowest point in his life. He was extremely depressed. Little did we actually know why, but I knew he had been struggling with imposter syndrome when it came to YouTube and social media and that kind of stuff, and that was something I could relate to. And right after Carson had told us the truth, the Kate situation happened. And, regardless of what we felt about the Kate situation, we saw Carson's mental state decline even more. And it was to the point that we genuinely thought his life could be in danger. And I felt like I needed to be there for him. And that's why I stuck with him. And that's why people like Josh and Connor stuck with him. And I just want to say, like, I never condoned what he had done. I remember a call with him and Josh where both of us basically said to him, like, dude, if this behavior continues, we're done. You know, our close friend had fucked up, but he was also in a very dangerous place, and we felt like we had to be there for him. But a few weeks ago, I started having some conversations with some of Carson's closest friends, including his former roommates. And in my discussions with them, I heard some things that suggested that Carson wasn't improving in the areas that he should have been. And he was showing signs of continuing some of his inappropriate behavior. And apparently this was happening while I was spending all this time trying to help him. And while he was saying that he was working on himself and that he was changing and that he hates the person he used to be. These conversations were really the ones that got me second guessing how genuine Carson had been to me and to others throughout this whole thing. Also, seeing the DMs he exchanged with some of the girls that have come forward absolutely fucking disgusted me. Up until yesterday, I thought that all these encounters Carson had were very much, spur-of-the-moment mistakes that he regretted instantly. And that was very much the story that everybody was told. And knowing what we do now, it's simply just not the case. This was something he pursued. Looking back now, almost every step of the way, Carson tried to downplay what had actually happened. And dude, I'm shocked. I can no longer say with any confidence that I believe Carson's behavior has ever stopped. I can't take his word for it anymore.
So, yeah. In the end, through manipulation, deceit, and sexting minors, Carson lost the love and the support of the people who knew him best.
Yeah, as far as the Carson thing goes, by the way, boys, I really don't like talking about shit like that on the stream because then I just become a glorified team star. So, yeah. I'm not a huge, in general, I don't think Carson is who is a concern to parents everywhere because he's going to snatch your kid and is attracted to children. I don't believe that. But I don't think that what he did was good either. But I also don't care enough to talk about it in Farm Drama Likes.
So, what do I think about the situation? Personally, I think it's f***ing gross, of course. I think I would be more okay with this if it were just instances of him sexting 17-year-olds at 19 years old. Again, even though he was technically an adult and they were technically minors, this is still a little bit of a gray area in terms of the age difference. But even then, it is still illegal to send nudes to a minor. The thing that really gets me was that it was with his fans, and not just one of them, but multiple of them. And this behavior continued a long time after the Lunch Club was made aware of it, as J-Slash said in that clip I just showed a couple minutes ago. Carson was using his power and his status to gain and exchange birthday suit pictures with his fans. I also don't understand why it took this long for this story to go public. I get the fact that this scandal is a private matter and should be dealt with privately, but at the same time, there was no way that the members of Lunch Club thought that this would be kept hidden from the public for long. The fact that this was kept private for 9 months is surprising to say the least. And at what point do the people involved become accomplices? With the exception of Slimesicle, because he was the only one of my knowledge who went immediately to the police with this information. The members of Lunch Club kept this a secret from the public for 9 months. I don't understand how you can keep something that serious a secret for 9 months, especially since this involves underage fans. In my opinion, this becomes a public matter when fans are involved, and keeping this hidden from the public makes you an accomplice, even if you are a friend just concerned about your friend's mental health. I'm not saying that I'm gonna stop watching their and respecting them because of this whole scandal. I still like most of their content. I would just rather they have come with this information earlier so that us as the public and and some of us as fans of Carson were informed about it. And why now? Why are we just hearing about this right now? Why and how has this been kept a secret for so long? The people who are commenting on this and making videos in this situation as well, other than Carson's friends, the first-hand accounts, are so rushed and forced. Because this is an ever-changing story, we of course don't have all the facts. Heck, I don't even have all the facts. This could be a ruse from the former members of Lunch Club to take Carson down because they made him mad one day. But I highly doubt that. What I'm trying to say is, we don't have the full story, and people are making rash accusations and statements with their limited information, and then making more and more videos on the topic, then either changing their opinions or doubling down on their opinions. And it's just doesn't feel right, in my opinion.
This is so different because, you know, it's allegedly Carson himself who's coming out and telling friends and other YouTubers about this. And yeah, so is there anything else you guys would like to say before we end it?
This is the first time that I've seen someone basically cancel themselves to their friends, which makes this an interesting story. But again, it is still a new and ever-changing story. If there was something I'd like you to take from this, is that everyone has their secrets. Even your favorite YouTubers, which of course should be me. Thank you for listening, stay safe, and have a great rest of your day. Yes, I did say that there was only going to be 3 parts to this video, but I also did say that this story is ever changing, and that it did. A girl named Samantha came forward and leaked her DMs with Carson, and let me just read them out to you. These are the DMs that Carson sent to Samantha. And just as a warning, it's some of the grossest thing I've ever seen on the internet. By far from a YouTuber. So it starts with Samantha saying, "I'll talk to you tomorrow," and Carson replies with, "Good night, Samantha. Sure, this was fun." She says, "Yes, yes, have a good one," smiley face. And then Carson says, "Night." And then Carson says, "Man, it's been so hard not messaging you. Hope it's all is well." And then Samantha says, "It's been hard not messaging you as well. I'm doing a lot better and I hope you're feeling good too." And then, "Okay, not gonna lie, it's been really hard not to message you." And then Carson says, "Why is that?" And then she replies with, "You're just really enjoyable to talk to and you're cute, so that makes it even better." And then he says, "I appreciate that, but like, we can't, right?" So this is where we start to see Carson acknowledging that what he's doing is wrong, but he still continues to do what he knows is wrong, which in and of itself is wrong. So Samantha replies with, "I don't know, can we?" And then Carson says, "I'm scared, I want to talk to you for the wrong reasons." Then she says, "Elaborate." And then he says, "What if I only want to talk to you for the sexual part of it, and I don't want that, but like, I'm worried about it? What if subconsciously I'm only talking to you because you turn me on or something?" That is just gross, like really, really messed up, man. This is a minor you're talking to, like this, especially, like, it's just so weird and so gross. Even it comes out of a place of horniness. It's still like, you can be horny, but you can also control what you say, if you know what I mean. So then she says, "You might just be overthinking it, maybe." And then he says, "Yeah, but if I'm not, then I'll hurt you." And I don't want to hurt you more than I already have. And then she says, the thing is, I still really want to talk to you, and honestly, it's worth it for me even if I still get hurt. Which, this is an instance of her basically condoning what he's doing to her, condoning him having sexual relations, making Carson believe that it is okay to continue with pursuing her and pursuing her not just romantically but sexually. Then Carson replies with how, and then she says it just is. Then Carson replies with, you're also 17 and that gives me the heebie-jeebies. So if there were any doubt in anyone's mind that Carson did not know that this girl was 17, Samantha was 17, this is proof of that. Then Samantha says, I don't know, I guess we just stick to the plan. And then Carson says, my feelings on this are a mess. She replies with, so are mine. Carson replies with, my brain keeps telling me I should stop talking to girls, period, full stop, but here I am. Samantha says, my brain is at the point of knowing this is wrong, but I really don't want to stop. Again, condoning this behavior. They both know what they're doing is wrong. They're both continuing to do this. They're both consenting. Carson replies with, what makes you want it so badly? Samantha says, because you're an actual wholesome person that's really enjoyable to talk to without me having to keep my emotions hidden. Carson says, thinking hard right now. Didn't think hard enough, buddy. Samantha said, Carson said, well, we could just talk. No dating, no sexting. You could just message me and chat whenever. Samantha says, that'll be fine with me. We could just see what happens with us in the future, I guess. Carson says, yeah, I don't know. I want a girlfriend, but I'm also scared about having a girlfriend. You're also 17 and a little more on the unstable side, which is why I think it would be good for you to have someone who can build you up. And then I also don't want to hurt you anyway. Do you agree? Again, you know she's 17, still pursuing, and that response of, yeah, but my mind is just saying it, still condoning, still, this is just wrong on both of their ends, and it's so just sad to see. Carson replies with, what? She replies with, I don't know, my mind's just everywhere right now. Carson says, I'm curious, in your head, where do you see this going? She says, I don't know, my mind's all over the place right now. Should we just stick to the plan, not talk for a year, maybe meet at PAX? Carson says, is that what you think is best? She replies with, I don't think so, also your haircut looks really good. Carson says, thank you. She says, you're welcome, but I think we should stick to the plan. Sound like a plan. Carson says, yeah, sure. She says, cool. Carson, I think, yep, that's a day later, says, is that really what you want? Just pursuing again. Like, that's just desperation. She says, what other options are there? Also, what would you want to happen? Carson says, I don't know. All I know is every time I jack off now, I have a really hard time not thinking of you. I guess my brain is stimulated and wants more, you know. That is the single worst line I think I have ever seen any YouTuber say to any person in general. That was just the most disgusting sentence, that was just so disgusting. Even if you are horny, that is not something you say to anyone unless you are dating them and they are, again, not a minor and not a fan. Then she says, sorry, I was in school. I was in school. Ha ha ha. I was in school, man. So I didn't sorry I was in school, but yeah, I get that. Same with me. Carson says, every time I go at it, I just want to give in again. You got me f***ed up, Sam. She says, I'm sorry, LMAO, Carson replies with. She says, you got me f***ed up too, some mutual thing. Carson says, so what if we re-add on Snap and next time you're horny, we have some fun again. Again, initiating all that sexting. She says, I don't know if I want that to be the only thing you do, you know? And then Carson says, yeah, but Sam, you're so hard to resist. She says, so are you. I feel like this is my fault. And then Carson says, if anything, it's my fault because I can't control myself. She says, neither can I. That's why I sent in the first place. So I guess that implies that she initiated the sexting. Like, she sent him nudes of herself, I guess. That's what I'm implying. I'm not 100% certain on that, but based on what she said, I think she sent first. But Carson said, yeah, and it was amazing, and I'm not gonna act like I don't want that. Disgusting. She says, I want it too, I don't regret it. He says, man, I want more now. Even more disgusting. Sam said, I just don't know what's going on between us right now. Carson says, yeah, it's weird. Well, I know, you guys are sexting each other. Sam says, very. Carson says, it doesn't help that I'm a plague and I don't know how to stop. She says, we both say one thing and do the opposite, which is the only thing that I can actually agree on in this entire DM history. Carson says, it's also sexually charged and I can't help it. You're just a turn on for me. And then Sam says, we're both in the same boat, man. And then Carson says, we should add back on Snap, what do you think? She says, sounds good to me, but I don't want it to be just like sexual, you know? Wouldn't mind calling and watching together or play something, you feel? And then Carson says, yeah, I feel you. Just hit me up next time you're horny. I'll leave it up to you if we do something sexual. Reading that out, I just felt gross. That was just gross. I hated reading every second of that. Well, back onto the main portion of the video. Those were really bad to say the least, and I've probably already given my opinions on those DMs while I was reading them, so I'm not gonna repeat what I've already said just so I don't bore you and make this video longer than it already is. Instead, I'm gonna talk about something arguably worse than those DMs. The people defending Carson. Or, more specifically, this YouTube video that I found a couple days ago by It's iJazzer defending Carson. I'm not gonna go over this video in its entirety, just the main points that I feel need to be addressed. To watch the full video for yourself, I'll link it in the description, but please do not send any hate to anyone featured in this video, and especially not It's iJazzer. People are entitled to their own opinions, but mine is clearly superior.
In Indiana, the age of consent is 16. Once someone reaches 16 years of age, the law allows them to make their own decision about their sexual relations. Now, if you don't know, Carson is from Indiana, and he most likely is living in Indiana from the time of those allegations, and was most likely living in Indiana at the time of this whole situation that happened with Sam. Now, I'm not exactly sure where Sam lives or where she is from, but if they are from the same state, Carson is 100% completely safe, and this will all blow over.
Okay, yes. The age of consent in the state that Carson grew up in is 16, but that does not excuse the fact that she is still a minor, and it's still gross that he is sexting his underage fans, keyword there, fans, as he admits in this point of the argument as well. We don't know where this girl is from, and we don't know where Carson was at the time of these messages, so this age of consent law couldn't even apply to this situation.
Speaking on the topic of consent, I'm going to pull up these text messages from Carson and from Sam and show you exactly why all of this is consensual. Why Carson did no such thing as pressuring her into sending these nude pictures. How Sam did it to her own will, 100% totally consensual. They were both having a unique relationship and both were okay in the situation that they were in and the formality of the conversations that they were having.
I do agree with this statement. Carson didn't force Sam to do anything that she didn't want to do. Heck, Sam even sounded like she wanted to do some of it at some points, which puts them both in the wrong. But the way Carson phrases his messages in those screenshots is still a little disturbing. Again, he knew what he was doing was wrong and didn't stop. And he even made it aware to Sam, who also didn't stop either and didn't even ghost him or anything, making Carson feel like it was okay to continue with his behavior.
Another topic that I want to bring up is the age of the girl. The girl is 17 years old, and at the time of this, Carson was 19 years old. What a lot of people have been saying, and I agree with, is if they were in the same school, they could potentially be in the same class and could potentially end up dating, and nobody would be charged with anything at all. It would just be like a normal dating relationship in high school. This is perfectly normal. This is perfectly fine. If you go to high school, you know that seniors date sophomores, seniors even sometimes date freshmen, juniors date seniors, juniors date freshmen. It's all in the same boat. It's all in the same kind of age gap. Everything is perfectly fine. For some reason, however, since Carson is a YouTuber, this automatically turns around on him and is completely wrong, and he's being called a pedophile by many public figures and individuals and people on YouTube. I don't agree with this. I strongly disagree with this because that's only a 2-year age gap.
I also agree with the first part of this statement. As I've kept saying, I don't think that if this were a case of Carson sexting a random 17-year-old off of Tinder or something like that, he would get this much, hate for it. But, again, he is overlooking the fact that he does this with fans. The people who adore him. The people who are most likely gonna be enticed to doing something or sending whatever he wants them to do or send him. The second part of that statement is the part that I don't get. Of course, if Carson weren't a big YouTuber, no one would be talking about this, because no one would know or even care for that matter. The fact that he is a big YouTuber / Twitch streamer makes this issue so much more important, because now his fans have to question why their favorite YouTuber is sexting this 17-year-old fan.
In this type of situation, especially on YouTube and multiple social media platforms, everybody has to form their own opinion, step back, and respect exactly what is happening with Carson right now. He is one of the most popular public figures and YouTubers on YouTube, and people are just coming at him left and right. It is going to be hard for anybody to make a response video when the entire internet is hating you and judging your every single move just because some girl came up with these allegations that happened 3 years ago, comes out and automatically accuses you of doing this, when obviously the text that we just went over shows that she was consensual, so she's lying and essentially ruining his YouTube perfect streak, his YouTube career. He is never going to go with, for the rest of his YouTube career, he is going to have to deal with this hiccup in his, that he was accused of pressuring a 17-year-old girl into sending nude pictures. This is traumatizing for anybody on this platform for that to happen to them. Imagine your favorite YouTuber, this happens to them. They are not going to know what to do. They are not going to know how to respond. They are going to need time. They're going to have many mental breakdowns. They're going to be so depressed. They might even be on the verge of suicide, and the whole internet is just coming at them, trying to make it seem like they're the worst person in the entire world, when actually this is very super common. The saddest part about this whole situation is that it's being blown completely out of proportion, especially to a lovable, most caring person that cares about their fan base, that makes amazing content, that has many friends, is now just being completely obliterated by every social media platform possible. Carson's close friends, Carson's friends that he used to know, Carson's famous YouTuber friends. It's honestly just a really sad situation for Carson. If Carson was not a famous YouTuber, nobody would care about this entire situation at all. Nobody.
Wow. So, this is a lot to unpack, and I want to do this all at once. Clicking on this video, I really wanted it to be satire, and it wasn't. This guy genuinely thinks that Carson did nothing wrong, and that statement in itself is wrong. The big thing that I think he forgets in this video is that it was with a fan. And if I did not hammer that point in home enough, let me tell you to you straight right now. Sexting your fans, underage or not, is wrong. Using your status to get what you want is doubly wrong. This evidence that he brings to the table defending Carson just shows that in this case, both of the parties were consensual in the sexting, which puts them both in the wrong. Carson for continuing to go after an underage fan, and Sam for continuing to talk and endorse this behavior. And I'm not disagreeing with that point, but the worst part is that this is just one instance out of the multiple supposed instances of Carson engaging in this behavior. What happens when more and more people come forward about this? Your already flimsy defense full of technicalities and stretches of the law would fall flat if even one fan came out and said that they felt pressured into sending news to Carson because she adored him so much. But that hasn't happened yet, so I can't fully support that statement. This is a situation where you should be allowed to form your own opinion, just like It's iJazzer said in his video. You also have to support your beliefs with actual proof, and for the fact that Carson didn't force any news to be sent, there was a lot of proof shown, and I don't disagree with him on that point. But when you say Carson is 100% innocent, that's where I'm gonna have to draw the line. Again, I'm not forcing you to agree with me, even though I'm clearly right. I just want to present this information to the public in an informed way. Because I'm biased in this video, I understand if you take this information with a grain of salt. I don't care. I've already said my piece. So, for real this time, stay safe, and have a great rest of your day.